mindset. So, you've heard of the antidote. A woman is sitting in her living room. She comments to her husband as she peers out of the window at the neighbors hanging their laundry. And she comments to her husband, she says, Hmm, this this woman across the way here does not know how to do her laundry because her sheets look dingy. And the next time, sure enough, that the woman's out hanging her laundry, she says the same thing to her husband. She's like, I don't know if I need to get this woman some bleach or something, but her sheets do not look good. If those are supposed to be clean sheets she's hanging up, those sheets look dingy. She needs some serious help with her laundry skills. And then one morning, the woman comes down, she grabs her coffee and sits down by the window. But this time, she sees the neighbor hanging the laundry, and she says, "Oh wow, honey, look! This woman finally figured out how to do her laundry. Her sheets were sparkling white, clean." And the husband said, "No, I just decided to finally clean our windows." What's the moral of the story? So, all this time, this woman is looking out and judging the neighbor, saying that her sheets are dingy, but really her windows were dirty. Sometimes it's our perspective that needs to be fixed. Sometimes it's our perspective that needs to be fixed. In fact, every single emotion hinges in part on perspective. Every single emotion hinges in part on perspective. It's not what happened to you, it's how you interpret what happened to you. And that's what I mean by perspective. Another word for this, bias or mindset. Because if we have a negativity bias, then we're going to tend to look at things in a negative way. If we have a positivity bias, we're going to tend to look at things in a positive way. It is not what happens to you, it's not what happens around you, it's how you interpret it. It's your bias, it's your perspective that determines how you feel. All of our emotions hinge on perspective. For instance, you can win the lottery. You can win, you won $30 million in the lottery. And how will you feel? There is not one way to feel. One person could win that money and go, "Oh, no." And why would they respond that way? Well, because what they thought about, what their perspective was, is the half in taxes and the way that their faces are going to be broadcast on the news and the way that their neighbors are going to treat them differently. And they were just starting to fit in. In the way that it's going to cause problems and tension in the family for all those that feel like they deserve a piece. All of the adult children are going to be worried now about the inheritance, and they thought of all that burden, and that's their response to winning the 30 million is, "Oh no, I don't want to have to deal with this." Another person's response could be, "Yes, this is my dream come true." It's not what happened to them, it's their particular perspective of the situation. And so, likewise, when you take a look at your mood, your emotions towards your life, your feelings towards what's been happening to you lately, it's not actually what's happening to you. It's your particular perspective of it that determines how you feel. You may welcome some of your challenges at work, your financial challenges. You may welcome them as a rite of passage, an opportunity to show who you truly are. Or if you have a negativity mindset, you go, "I never can get ahead. This always happens to me." Detrimental perspective. And so you can adopt either a detrimental perspective or a beneficial perspective. That's in everything in life. You can adopt either a detrimental perspective or so a beneficial perspective is, how does this benefit me? If you're thinking in terms of how something benefits you, then you have a beneficial mindset. thinking in terms of how something benefits you, seeing it as beneficial, or finding a way to twist and turn it to be to your benefit, finding a way to use it to your benefit in some way. It's if you have a beneficial mindset, then you're always looking for a way to make the situation beneficial. This will keep you balanced. It will heal you from complex trauma, and it will greatly ameliorate your mental illness when you have a beneficial mindset. How does this benefit me? How can I turn it to be of benefit to me and others? How can I make this beneficial? But what happens with complex trauma is we tend to have a detrimental mindset. And why do we have a detrimental mindset? Well, when you go through trauma, then it produces fear. And we're trying to find a way to mitigate the fear. And so the initial subconscious response to fear is to constantly feel unsafe. So the reason we have a detrimental mindset is we think that it will keep us safe. We think that it will keep us safe to always assume the worst, right? So someone says, "Oh, hey, would you mind sitting over on that side?" And in your mind, you go, "They probably just did that because I'm," and then you name something about you that you find to be unique. Because I'm 6 feet tall, because I'm a man, or because I'm a woman. It's a detrimental mindset. Now I'm telling myself a story of why they did what they did, and the story is bad. And why am I doing that? Well, because I'm traumatized. And I'm thinking that this will keep me safe subconsciously, not consciously, but subconsciously. I figure it's going to make me be better. Like I'm going to be like safer if I just already know that they're doing this against me. Or I say, this always happens to me. This always, you hear the detriment in that? Bad things always happen to me. That's detrimental mindset. And yes, it's negativity bias instead of positivity bias. So, in order to help ourselves to learn how to get out of the negativity bias and into more of a positivity bias, I invite you to think about how you would talk to your teammates if you were playing sports. Do you say to your teammates, "All right, guys, going to start our game here. Probably not going to do very well. You're probably going to mess up a lot. Sally, you're probably going to do terrible. Billy, you're one of our best players, but I mean, let's be honest. You don't stand a chance against their best players. Overall, this is going to be really rough, and we're going to lose." Would you ever talk to your team like that? Why not? Why don't you talk to your team like that? Aren't you just being realistic? Why don't you talk to your team like that? What's the reason? What do you got for me? You can answer in the chat. How come you don't just tell the team all the bad that could happen to them? Yeah, it doesn't motivate them. Yeah, that's right. It doesn't motivate the team. It's going to drag them down. Yeah. Well, but here's the thing. Hold on. Now you guys are all of a sudden experts on psychology here, setting them up for failure. But wait a second. Why do you talk to yourself like that? Why do you talk to yourself like that? You know, you're an expert of psychology. Now you're just like, "Oh, you have to talk to your team positively, Roman, in order to motivate them." Roman, you got to understand, you can't drag other people down. You know what? You're setting them up for failure. So if you understand that that's how the mind works, then why do you keep doing the opposite to yourself? You're failing to see yourself as a player in the game of life. So let's change the mindset. The proper mindset is life is a game that I intend to win. Life is a game that I intend to win. Might sound wrong, but this is the proper mindset. Life is a game that I intend to win. We need to get out of the trauma, because what do you say to your teammate when you suffer the little traumas on the field? Do you say, stay there, wallow in it, be changed by it, keep suffering? Are you still thinking about that time you messed up a few minutes ago? Are you still thinking about that time you got injured? Are you still thinking about how the score is down? I just want to remind you, I just want to remind you, we're not doing good. I just want to remind you, you really messed up that last play. Because you don't talk to your team member like that. Why? Because again, you're an expert of psychology when it comes to other people, right? And you know that you want them to move forward. So what do they say on the field? They go, "Come on, baby, don't worry about it. Come on, move on. No worries. Hey, let it go. It's okay. Get back up. You got this, right?" As soon as you make a mistake, and they go, "Ah, no, 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 don't worry, don't worry. Hey, it's okay, it's okay. Come on." Your team is doing that. Why? Because they understand that it's a psychology game. It is a game. It is a game. It is a game. Life is a game that you intend to win. That is the proper mindset. How do you win the game? To fulfill your purpose. That is winning the game. There are goals that need to be met. That is what we're here to do, to fulfill goals. We're workers. We're here to work. We need to get something done. if you're in, if you get all discouraged, right, then you're like the players on the field that wallow, when they make a mistake, which we can all do, right? But you are the teammate of the self. So it's your job to speak up and say, hey, to yourself, hey, that's okay, baby. Let's go. Let's go. It's okay. Brush it off. We got this. We got this. Let's go. Let's go. Okay. That's one down. We might have lost the battle. We're not going to win the war. I mean, we're not going to lose the war. Right? You're supposed to talk to yourself like that. It's your job to do that. This is very important because when you do that, then you don't stay in the traumatized state and you heal faster. Does that make sense? It's your job to talk yourself up, to bring yourself up. It's okay. You got this. You can do this. This is real stuff. I play sports. I play sports and recently I got yelled at by my team. This is a true story. I got yelled at by my team because I didn't follow this rule. Why? I don't know. I am a big jerk sometimes, but this is the true story of what happened. Okay? This is going to make me look pretty bad, but this really happened. So my teammate says to me before a game, we were facing a tough team, and he was trying to talk the team up. He's like, "All right, we got this." And he looks at me and says, "Roman, you think we can win?" And I said to him, "No." Oh, God. Oh, why did I do that? I'll tell you why I did it. I thought I would just be honest. He asked me directly. I wasn't going to tell the team, "Hey, we can't win," but he asked me directly. He said, "Roman, do you think we could win?" And I prioritized honesty over morale. As a result, the team, after they were done booing me before the game, they played terribly, like worse than we would normally play. And they blamed me for the defeat. The team was like, "Roman made us lose. You made us lose that game, man." And why did they say that? Because I said we couldn't win. But I feel like, hey, I was just, to my defense, I was being honest. I was just telling, he asked me, "Can we win?" And I looked at the other team like, "No, we can't win." I should have at least put in like, "But we can have fun and we could try our best." I didn't even say that. I'm just a huge jerk. I was just like, no. And I just let everyone's emotions fall. Well, guess what? We lost the game. And they were in a bad mood and they hated me for it. And I shouldn't have done it. What's the moral of the story? You gotta build up the morale. It's not about what is real, it's about perspective because controlling the perspective controls the emotions. And one of the emotions that's important is our motivation. Does that make sense? Forget you, Drea. Drea said that's you all day though. Forget you. But yeah, so that's we have to build up the morale of ourselves. We got to build up the morale for ourselves. So are you doing that? Are you the type to make sure that you're staying in positivity mindset? Let's take some examples of things and let's see if you can look at it in a way that's positive, right? Because I'll work with a survivor and occasionally they'll come on the call and they'll be like, it's it's terrible. I just got a promotion and I finally got away from my abuser. I'm finally living where I want to live. This has been so hard. And I'm like, you just named all good things. Do you not hear yourself? A trauma survivor will actually talk about positive things and be crying because their perspective is detrimental. They look at a promotion as more than they can handle. They look at moving to a new place as, I don't have any friends. They look at getting away from their abuser as, I don't have any family now, I'm alone. Those are good things. You live where you want to live, right? You got to get. How can we look at it from a positivity mindset, from a beneficial bias? How can we see it as beneficial to us? So let me give you an example, and then you tell me how we can look at this from the bias of being beneficial. So, what if we get transferred to another department? What if we get transferred to another department? It's not our, it was over our head. It wasn't our choice. We got transferred. How can we look? Tell me how we can frame that so that we're in positivity mindset. New people, new opportunities. Very good. I like the word opportunity. This is an opportunity to meet new people, learn new skills. Very good. Very good. Um, could be an opportunity to get away from some of the bad parts of your old department because let's face it, your old department wasn't perfect either, right? I have a chance to recreate myself with new people, fresh start. Very good. Let's take another example. Um, let's say your abuser takes all the money and runs. Your abusive spouse or significant other takes all the money and they run. They run. I mean, they're gone. Mexico or something. How can we frame that to be positive? Paula says, good riddance. Excellent. You got rid of them. Elizabeth, excellent. Um, this will give me an opportunity to be independent. Very good. That's positivity mindset. I get to learn. I'm going to skip that one. Um, no longer a burden. Absolutely. Hey, we're not getting abused anymore. When our abuser leaves, then we're no longer being abused. Yeah. Sandra, the truth is out. Yeah. Now he's showing himself for what he truly is. Absolutely. Very good. And you see what can happen? Can you see how it's easy to get into the negativity mindset? But what happens if we think like this with the positivity? What happens to us? Emotionally, we stay more motivated, which gives us what we need to do all the hard things that are ahead of us in life, both to defend ourselves, maybe in this legal situation, or to take legal action if necessary, but also to move on. Maybe we need to move. We need to change the locks so that this person doesn't come back. We need to start our new job. We need to get into our new purpose. We need to get some income coming in. There's a lot to do, right? We can't do all of that stuff if we're down in the dumps because we choose to look at the situation from the negativity bias. This always happens to me. Of course, this would happen. Now I have nothing, nothing, nothing. We have to see things from a standpoint of how it's beneficial because our goal is to win the game. We need to win the game. The game is not your fight against the narcissist. That's not the game. The game is to fulfill your purpose. That's how you win. You are here to get a job done. You've been sent for on a mission. So concentrate on that purpose. Fulfill that purpose. Does that make sense? Let's go harder. What if someone discriminates against you due to your gender or your race? How can we have positivity, beneficial mindset toward that? Someone discriminates against you because of your gender or your race. Pray for them, forgive them. Thank you for showing me who you really are. Very good. Others' opinions are irrelevant. Very good. God's opinion is what matters. Get to tell the true story that will get air. Good, good. This is everyday life, guys. Did you know that? And did you know that's everyday life? This isn't a like a extraordinary thing to happen to you when you get discriminated on. Prejudice is built in to mankind, right? We look at someone or we look at something and we judge it based on its initial appearance, right? I judge people based on their initial appearance. If I'm walking down the street and I look down a dark alley that I was about to turn down, but there's a man with a hooded sweatshirt or something, looks like a dark, shadowy figure, 1/12 of a second, I will judge that that's not a safe situation or potentially not a safe person, and I will walk the other way. That's not wrong. It's not wrong. It's built in. Sometimes people take it too far with the prejudice and they start to treat us different as a result. But in reality, we are all treating people different because if you ask someone who's conventionally beautiful, their experience from someone who's conventionally not as attractive, they are having two different experiences on this earth because everyone treats people differently based on the way they look. So discrimination is a normal, everyday occurrence in this world. So here's a non-detrimental frame. Why not me? Why not me? Of course that could happen to me. Why wouldn't it happen to me? I'm a part of this minority group, am I not? Of course I could get treated that way. Why not me? This will be great in my autobiography. Oh, this is going to make a good story. It's going to make a very good story. Oh, good. Now this is some odds I can overcome, something I can overcome. That's fine. That's fine. Right? So we have to frame it in a way that's not detrimental, to frame it in a way that's not detrimental. So let me open this subject up. I want to take a few questions on this before we close tonight, specifically on perspective, negativity mindset. Um, I would like you to share with me how shifting your mindset has helped you, or ask a question regarding mindset perspective. How do we keep on the positive mindset without self-gaslighting ourselves? So the term gaslighting actually comes from the concept of mental abuse, where you make a person believe that they're mentally ill or that they're crazy or there's something wrong with them. That's actually what gaslighting is. Now we've taken it and we've brought it into a broader vernacular where we kind of just apply it to anytime someone lies about something. And we say, okay, that's gaslighting. So now you're putting it from that standpoint, like, well, if I tell myself everything's going to be great today, how do I know I'm not gaslighting myself? Well, if you just strip that word away from it and we apply a different word, such as delusion, how do I know I'm not deluding myself? Well, you are deluding yourself. When you make up a story that's not scientifically provably true, such as, sure, guys, we could win this game, it is a delusion. It is a delusion. But you have to think in terms of life is a game. I am here to win. How do you win the game? Is it by saying, no, we can't win? No. With that, you've basically guaranteed that you will not win the game. It is through using the positivity delusion, the positive delusion, that you win the game. So you are deluding yourself. But keep in mind, Marcus, that you're deluding yourself when you do the negativity bias also. And you say, oh, everyone here just doesn't like me. Everyone's judging me. Oh, this always happens to me. All of that is also delusion. You are feeding yourself a delusion all the time. You can't help it. You're always telling yourself stories. So what I'm teaching you is that if you're going to tell yourself a story, you might as well tell yourself one that's going to be beneficial to you. Don't worry, I've tried it and I didn't lose my mind. It actually frees you greatly when you realize that you can control your emotional state, your mindset, and position yourself for success. What if it feels like lying to others like your team? So in this case, my team would have rathered I lied to them. We had the whole discussion. We went out to dinner and I was like, well, what do you prefer? I lied to you? Yes. Yes. In this case, there were better ways that I could have put it. So one of the guys mentioned, hey, you could have said, hey, I'm going to do my best. Right. And so to answer your question, there's ways that we can phrase things so that we don't have to go all the way to the negative in the name of not lying. Okay. You can still be positive. I could have been positive and said, when he said, hey, we're going to win this game? And I could have said, I'm going to do my best. Are you going to try your best? And that still would have been positive. But instead, I just had to be the big killjoy. All right. What if what if you feel like no one is on your side? And see, that's a detrimental mindset. Detrimental mind. I can't accept it. No one is on my side. I have no support. Unacceptable. Unacceptable. I don't care if you don't have a single person in your life. Why would you say that? That is abuse of the self. So just picture the child in front of you so you can hear yourself. Okay, now I'm talking to a child. Son, you have no support. No one is on your side. You are on your own with your issues and problems. Would you ever say that to a child? Of course not. It's abusive. So don't ever say it to yourself. Never say that to yourself. Never say that to yourself. Don't say that to yourself. You and HG Tutor are very resourceful, very well. Are you comparing me to a narcissist? Don't put me in a category with a narcissist. Could be realistic. Could realistic be better? Was it better for my team when I was realistic? Did you not hear the story? Everyone hated me. They they were angry. They not only lost the game, but they had no fun doing it because of my realism. What's better is to tell yourself a story that will motivate you to win, that will keep you in a positivity mindset. If you lie, is that not being authentic? You are trying to benefit yourself. The idea is to benefit yourself. That is authenticity, is to benefit yourself. When you're doing things out of love, purpose, it's good. That's authentic. When you lie out of fear, that's inauthentic. Then you're being that people pleaser. Don't lie out of fear. But you do need to tell yourself the stories that are going to be to your benefit. Yes. Even if you call it a positivity delusion, that's fine. That's the point. You are deluding yourself toward the positive. Try it and then come back and tell me how it didn't work. And guess what? You'll never be back to tell me that. So go try it instead of trying to give me all the reasons why you guys think it wouldn't work. Tell yourself some stories this week, some positivity things. So Elizabeth, instead of I have no one, there's no one, how about positivity bias? Now's my opportunity to show my independence. I'm an adult now and I like having the freedom. I like having the privacy to make my own decision and not have to have it run by someone else. There's no committee to check in with. I have the ability to make decisions that are going to be beneficial for myself. That's positivity bias, and that's how we should talk to ourselves. Does that make sense, guys? My mom loves you and wants to send you money. Go to the website, healingcourse.org, and then you can send a donation there. Paul says, it does work. I got a whole job doing this. I told myself I was overqualified and applied, as he said, and it worked. Absolutely. Absolutely, it works. You can do anything, anything. You heard the saying, you can do anything you put your mind to. That's what we must do. We must understand, put your mind there first, and then you can do it. You can't do it if you don't put your mind there, that it'll be a no. Today I had an hour drive to a place that I didn't have an exact address for. I believed I could figure it out doing the drive, and I did. I could have not gone because of doubt. It's insane. It's just an insane thing to do, Natasha. You're just positively delusional. It wouldn't have been possible the other way around, though. If you just said, I can't do it, then you would not have been able to do it because you wouldn't even gotten into your car because you would have been afraid because you told yourself you can't do it. You understand? This is the only way to success. Again, your goal is to recognize life is a game, and your job, your goal is to succeed, to win the game. Does that make sense? So let's go take this new positivity bias. Let's go put it to work and then come back with your stories. Let me know how it worked out for you. Okay. This week, that's our homework. It's positivity bias, beneficial bias, perspective. Looking forward to hearing your stories.